Welcome to the video on clause structure. Probably one of the more important grammar/punctuation videos you are going to do. And that's because if you don't understand clause structure, it's really hard to know where the punctuation goes, where sentences end, how to write good compound and complex sentences. So let's get straight into it. There's a couple of words we need to know for this lesson. It's subject. And subject is really what is the sentence about, or who or what is performing the sentence. And I'm going to show you some examples of this in a second. The second is predicate. So a predicate is everything else other than pretty much the subject in a sentence. The predicate contains a verb and it tells us something about the subject. We hopefully should know what a verb is. Primary schools have taught us very badly, telling us it's a doing word. It's definitely not. It's a doing, being, or having word. It's important to think of it as a being or having word because words like is, he is cool, that's a verb. Is the verb. He has money. Has is the verb. So these are verbs as well, being or having words. Keep those in your head. So when the English language, the English language is an SVO clause structure, subject, verb, object. But we're not going to worry too much about that. We want to think about subject, predicate. It's a much better way to think about it. So let's identify some, I don't know about you guys, but examples of how my brain works. So here we have Jordan hates sleeping. So the question we have to ask ourselves, go back, what is the sentence about, or who or what is performing the sentence? So who or what is performing in this sentence is Jordan. So we know that Jordan is going to be our subject. And if Jordan's a subject, what is the predicate? Hopefully you've said hates sleeping. Where's our verb? What is the doing, being, or having word? He is hating the sleeping. He is doing the hating. He is hating. So that is the verb. So this is our predicate down here. The verb and everything else. So if we go back and look at predicate, it contains a verb and states something about the subject. Here's our verb. Is it stating something? Hate sleeping about Jordan? Yes. So that's our predicate. Let's go again. Going to give you 10 seconds. David never eats his lunch. What do you think the subject is? Have a think. Say it in your head. Okay. Go again. What is the sentence about, or who is performing in the sentence? Hopefully in your head you've said David. So the next question is, where's our verb? Going to give you 5 seconds. Think about it in your head. The verb is eats. Sometimes you refer to things as a verb group, so never eats would be the verb group. So hopefully that you've identified the predicate as never eats his lunch in class. Predicate. So if we go back, what is a predicate? It contains a verb, check, and it states something about a subject. What is it stating about David? That he never eats his lunch in class. There's our predicate. Okay. Hopefully at most sentences, especially simple sort of sentences, it's quite easy to identify the subject and the predicate of the sentence. But why do we need to know this? Why? Because editing, our editing, peer editing, editorial team editing. This is how we know where punctuation goes, where sentences finish. So let's have a look here. Let's say you've got your sentence, you're marking someone's work, and their sentence says, Jordan hates sleeping, he can't even get to sleep. And you're like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is right, but what I can quickly do is I can do a subject predicate check on it. So, Jordan hates sleeping, he can't even get to sleep. Who's doing this sentence? Well, Jordan's doing this sentence, isn't he? So hopefully you've identified Jordan as a subject. So where's a verb? Or if we move along here, we can say, oh yeah, hates is a verb. It's a doing thing that he's doing. And what are we finding out, Jordan? That he hates sleeping. There you go. Then I look over here and that's a noun. And I know that nouns are most often subjects. Can't even get to sleep. Oh no, I've got another verb in here and another subject. So here's another subject. Here's another predicate. Okay, here's our predicate over here. Here's our predicate over here. Can't even get, I think gets our verb. Can't even gets our verb group. Jordan hates sleeping. Jordan can't even get to sleep. Oh, we've got two sentences, or we've got two clauses here. So now as editors, we know that we don't just put a full stop at the end here, which we need to do because this one's missing. So what do we do from here? We've identified our subject and our predicates. So how are we going to break it up? Well, we've got a couple of options. I'm going to give you 5 seconds, or maybe pause the video and have a think for yourself. What would you do if you were editing this piece? I'll give you 5 seconds to pause the video and have a think. Okay, hopefully you've had a bit of a chance to think about it. These were some of the options you could have done. We could have added some conjunctions in here. We know because of the subordinate conjunction, sometimes it kind of works as a coordinating conjunction as well. Jordan hates sleeping because he can't get to sleep. It explains why he hates sleeping. Why does he hate sleeping? Because he can't get to sleep. So now we've got a conjunction between the two. So this sentence is now grammatically correct, and we've added our full stop. But we could also have used a coordinating conjunction. He hates sleeping. What's the effect of him hating sleeping? So he can't even get to sleep. See, they're actually opposite with different conjunctions, totally different meanings. Here he hates sleeping because he can't get to sleep. Here he can't get to sleep because he hates sleeping. So slightly different things. And then the other option is that we could actually have added a full stop here and added as two simple sentences, capitalized our H, and away we go. So watch this a few times if you need to. These are quite simple sentences, so it's easy to kind of identify here. It might be a little bit harder. Just be aware that sometimes the subject in a second clause can be omitted. So Jordan hates sleeping. Yeah, this one doesn't really work so much. Jordan hates sleeping, but sleeps well on Tuesday. So the he is admitted. It's still there. It's just not. It's not written in. The inference is that it's still there, so it still works as a compound sentence. Hope that didn't confuse you. Subject predicate, really important.